You know, lately a nigga been fighting a whole lot of demons. A lot of shit we do gonna have consequences, but we gotta be ready for them. Emergency, I just got out of surgery. I'm having problems with my heart and it won't work. I did some shit in my past and it's cursing me. I'ma stay right here on this plot to go take breath from me. I'm sipping this Henny, this pain, but it ain't helping. My little nigga going against the grain and that shit stressing me. I pray to God that God have mercy.
I'm living the crazy life. I shot at a nigga talking some shit on the game, he paid the price.
I was young in the rest for the money, my hunger for
He
paper
saved my life.
And I should get saved tonight. If you want that lick shit, we can get rich quick, we can get paid tonight. Nigga, dollar bill, y'all. Everybody want the money, everybody want this shit. Everybody want the money, but don't wanna go down. You'll do anything to get it, but when you gonna go out there? Shit, gotta think about it.
187.
Murder by
You killed the nigga, you don't know if you gon' go to heaven.
gotta chalk that shit over, though. Real talk. Hey, fight my demons. So many demons.
Me against these demons. Fight my demons, fighting mine.
It's me against these demons.
Me against these demons. Oh, I'm fighting demons up in the ghost. I'm fighting demons. Get hit in the spleen. That money be green. I'm looking so.
Gave him the ball and nigga they chose. Tables turn that nigga you roll. My little nigga don't follow no code. Follow
no code. Follow me like the Pope.
Stand on my word and stand by the consequence. They say I'm hard. Thanks for the compliment. I sing it dead homie. Y'all like company. BMG gang and bitch feel competent. Don't wanna hear that shit. I gotta kill that shit. Lethally militant. I can get ignorant. We not considerate. Niggas do silly shit. We can do drilling shit. Guilty and innocent.
Don't give a fuck my bystander. Hotlander. Don't take no slander. Don't take no slander.
Dollar bill, y'all. Everybody want the money, everybody want this
Everybody want the money, but don't wanna go down.
You'll do anything to get it, but when you gonna go out there? Shit, gotta think about it.
187.
Murder by
You killed the nigga. You don't know if you gon' go to heaven.
gotta chalk that shit over, though. Real talk. Hey,
Fight my demons.
fight my demons.
So many demons.
Me against these demons. These demons.
Fight my demons.
Fight my demons.
Fighting mine.
It's me against these demons. Me against these demons. Living life in case.
Grand Rising, Namaste, I say, salutations, salam, peace. Hope all is well. Hope everybody's doing good out there. Listen, today we're going to touch base on a little bit of negative aliens. Basically, I want you guys to understand why a lot of this stuff is going on online. It's basically an agenda that's being pushed. Victimizing software, deceptive behavior, so on and so forth, right? This is all being pushed out there. Like when you look at it and when you hear some of the things that we're going to talk about today regarding the ego and empaths and how these neurobiological things are working and stuff like that, it's all tied in. You know, everything is tied into itself or to something else. And the perception of it, how they're perceiving it to be right now, you know, falsifying people's truths and trying to manipulate everything like that. All these outside entities that seem to be worried about, you know, America and everything like that. So we're going to get into all of that. We're going to break some of this stuff down. First, I want you guys to understand, you know, narcissists and how they operate so you can get a better understanding of this. Let's take a listen.
Narcissistic personalities and psychopaths have little to no remorse for the harm, destruction, or killing they cause any person, place, or thing. This is described width, standard, wide. As a lack of empathy, which is characterized by the inability to feel, experience emotional states, or discern what another life form may be feeling. Lack of empathy is a mutation in the DNA of a species that has been disconnected from its soul spirit, and thus suffers from genetic damage and soul fragmentation. Most of the negative aliens and those humans serving the NAA are unable to feel, experience, or express higher emotions, such as emotive and empathetic states of loving kindness or compassion. Essentially, with a lack of empathy as a AD value system, it is easy to program killing machines that have no remorse for their actions nor care of the consequences to their actions. The negative aliens have downloaded their genetic mutations through mind control technologies which manifest as a severe lack of empathy within the collective consciousness of the human race, in order to control the planet to serve their agenda. A major control mechanism is to enforce the cycles of victim-victimizer in the population of Earth. Genetic damage. From the
And that's what
genetic
you
level of
see.
their
Like,
form-based template, lack
this
of
is what
empathy.
you see right now. You see this victimizing software, this victimizing mindset. You see this all over the internet right now, right? Especially if you're in the Jaguar right sector, you can see this right now taking place with different variations of people on the internet, right? Use coercions and threats, make threats to hurt her, make her drop charges, make her do illegal things, threaten to leave her, so on and so forth. These are ways that this physical violence, but these are, let's go back to the internet stuff. Let's go back so you can see the layers of ego and how this is working, right? This victimizing of the collective, right? You see this taking place online right now. Dark force manipulation. You see this stuff taking place right now. You see people trying to do like the hero, Dando in distress, different variations of things, fear tactics program, VV study, right? I just want you guys to listen to some of this stuff right here, right? You guys tell me, do you not see this happening on YouTube right now? Do you not see this happening on TikTok right now?
When one has control over the thoughts of one's mind, one has control over the direction and actions of the physical body, all of its parts, and reclaiming of the soul energies. Whoever controls the mind controls the soul. Psychospiritual warfare through technological mind control to create fear and trauma is used to control the masses in a variety of ways. God, religious violence, gender issues, and sexuality are the most mind-controlled and manipulated belief systems promoted by the NAA and their human power elite to continue their enslavement and vampirism of humanity. Cause and effect backlash. If we persist in needing to use control or manipulation methods in our daily life, we will experience the cause and effect backlash, or the karmic return of mental bondage to the old destructive patterns of egoic behavior. This is confusing for many people on the earth receiving the cause and effect backlash now, because they are being returned to the energy that they have repeatedly created with their false identity. In the planetary field, the more a person has deliberately deceived others, the more energies of self-deception and confusion they will face in the external. The methods that used to work very well for them in the material world, when they were rewarded with lots of money or power, are not working for them anymore in the new timeline. They do not realize the laws in this reality are changing to be based on the forces of love, therefore the beliefs, behaviors, and actions must become more transparent and honest to accommodate this change. The backlash of receiving negative energy that a person has sent out into the field is happening with greater intensity and quicker timing. Dark entities jump on that negative energy as it's generated and amplify it into the collective fields, as large as they can. This intensifies the impact of the negative energy, which can be seen as the manifested forces of chaos, confusion, and insanity, as it is being returned to its causality in the collective field. From the collective field, those people resonating with those negative forces become individual conduits or vessels of chaotic expression. Because they do not know what to do with the incredible amount of negativity building up inside of them, they are confused, lost, and acting out in self-destructive ways. 1.
All through the internet. We see this cause and effect of this backlash, whatever. We see it all through the internet. For some reason, there's different variations of people on the internet trying to push certain narratives, and I think it's the inside of them. I think they don't know how to get right on the inside. I think they went through their dark night of the soul or whatever it is. And I think they lost their battle to the lower half of their self. So they're in the lower versions of their self and they're attacking people that's trying to operate with wisdom, with knowledge, right? This is why I say you got to have discernment. Right now, they're doing anything to try to get me to talk about them, to get me to bring up something. Make him do something negative. Make him do something negative. That's all they're trying to do. I mean, they could put all the lies out there that they want, but eventually they're going to be revealed, or you'll probably see them get sick. They'll end up sick, like, oh, I got a cold, I'm sick, I'm down. The weather is it ain't got nothing to do with the weather. It's all that wickedness and evil that's building up inside of them.
Discerning spirits. Most people are unaware there are dark spirits that are assigned certain purposes by the humans and non-humans who evoke them. We live in a multidimensional world with every kind of spirit force one could imagine. There are spirits of hate, spirits of rape, spirits of poverty, and spirits of pedophilia. We do not want to communicate with these spirits unless we are qualified to perform deliverance, transiting. Most of these collective forces of spirits were earthly humans once, who over time were bound to a consciousness theme, from their own repeated actions of committing the same. It is important to comprehend that absolutely everything on the planet has some type of consciousness or spirit. When you observe it operating en masse in the world, then it means there is a type of consciousness spirit behind that action. There are dark spirits, and there are truth and light spirits. These lower spirits are manipulated and embodied by people. This is the nature of consciousness, so it is important to discern the nature of spirit forces. 2. Fear tactics.
Now, these are some ways uh shall we go into the spirit body? So this is what you're seeing right now. Basically, there's a shift from lunar to solar zodiac imprint. I showed you guys the backdrop numerous times, this shift that takes place from the lunar to the solar, right? And in this time, this is where one might experience a dark night of the soul. This is where one might experience the dark night of the soul in this time right here, when this shift is taking place.
Shift from lunar to solar zodiac imprints. There are many falsified claims being made in the online New Age spaces in which these twin flame unions have been forged between those being manipulated with lunar consciousness overlays transmitted from lunar zodiacal imprints, i.e., Enki DNA, which are not actual solar consciousness gender twin flames.
See?
These situations that are mated in genetic oppositions between angelic humanity and those with high reptoid DNA hybridization are considered to be major opportunities for spiritual growth, consciousness rehabilitation, and learning lessons with unconditional love, compassion, and empathy for all involved. as disclosure continues to reveal the truth of hidden human history to the masses. With recent events shifting timelines from the lunar-based clock shield with fallen angelic timekeeper mechanisms used by the Red Shields,
What up? What up?
and evolving into the solar-based clock shield and sunstar networks with Emerald Order timekeeper functions, we are living in
Now,
an
hold
exceptionally
on.
unique time of zodiac.
A lot of this stuff you guys will not understand it. It goes into depths, but I want to pull you guys. All right, so if we get into the Electro Wars, these are the Hyperboreans, so the Moon Chain Holocaust, all of this stuff, Electric Wars, all of this stuff, it's a fight for the vessels of mankind. A lot of people might not know the Hyperboreans, Olympion, so on and so forth. Like you might not know this stuff, but this stuff is taking place inside the body, inside your vessel. There's a fight for the universe that's inside of you. It's a collective universe, but it's inside of all of us. Y'all type
This,
something in the comment
Christos
section.
Guardians continue with the Golden Chris Templar 7D recoding stages of building out the planetary wings, currently restoring the 7D Amethyst Violet wings of the Amethyst Order Thistle Kings holding the Cosmic Holy Father rod code connected to the eastern seaboard of the United States. As these solar arcs are the planetary dragon's wings that generate Ouroboros rings in their eternal plasma configuration. The Cosmic Father's rod code is the organic cosmic Christos alignment of the solar masculine Christos rod architecture from the RHA God world creation of the Amethyst Dragon Kings, Violet Flame Yanas and Ramianas. This triple solar rod correction contains the cosmic solar Dragon King's body parts with organic violet sun alignments that allow for the mathematical merge of the Amethyst crystal heart awakening and violet vapors for elemental re-encryption within the vertical solar female Christos pattern in order to
Now
resonate
look,
self.
you might not know what this is saying, right? But we're ushering in a golden age, right? And they're manipulating the loose energy, right? So when I tell you guys that this is about energy and they're manipulating the loose energy, right? It's through social engineering that they're manipulating this. So they're using different variations of this social engineering as a way to do so. This is where they get on here and they call it the silent weapon, but really it's just the internet and people being nasty on the internet. But see, they got a different reason to do it, right? This is where the social engineering come in at. Um, Social media and everything like that. This is what they're manipulating right now. And that's why you have people like, Snoopy coming out the woodworks, trying to make people look at people a certain type of way, not worried about herself. She's not telling you about her and all the wrongdoing she do and all the bad choices she made. She's trying to manipulate the people that's being transparent, the people that's being honest about their life. She's not telling you about all the evil and hateful shit that she did, right? She's trying to reflect and point out other people so that way her karma or her cosmic karma can look less by her trying to give other people that. So if you listen to what I'm saying, then you'll understand why these people are doing exactly what they're doing, right? You have to really listen to what this is talking about, and I'll break it down. But listen to what I'm saying, right? It's a reason. Everybody keeps wondering, like, what is the reason? Like, did you break her heart? Did she do this? Did she do that? No, these people have no personal grifts. They have no personal grifts, right? Their idea is just to go out there and to cause as much havoc as possible, try to make people feel insecure about themselves, attack their character, attack their sexuality, attack their being, right? So that way you can stay in a lower frequency of yourself. They want you to stay in a lower vibration of yourself where the ego lies, or even lower than that, trying to always block off some type of I'm not this and I'm not that and that's not me. And it's a repeated thing. None of these people really want to have conversations to hash it out or anything like that. This is just something that they're doing just to keep, oh, they're keeping traction going. Whatever they want to call it, it's really just to bring attention to their page. It's not really a solution to any problems. It's these people are not going to like see you for a better light. If you say, hey, I apologize for anything that you might have thought that I did, and then you want to move forward, they're not going to do that, right? They're not going to do that. They'll sit there and try to take your apology and then rub that in your face and be like, yeah, you better apologize. And then when it comes down to them apologizing, they say, I'm not apologizing. I'm not apologizing, right? Just pay attention. Just pay attention. You will know them by their works. Pay attention.
Social engineering is a type of mind control that seeks to manipulate people from their own right to privacy into becoming knowledgeable and self-informed, so that the social structure can exploit them with misinformation that is used to take control of their behaviors. The primary method is applied via bullying, intimidation and deception tactics through controlling perception and by generating personal or mass fears, real or imagined, in their targets. During and after the World Wars, aggressive social engineering agendas were put into place by the NAA controller secret societies through the medical and scientific communities that had started to form the field of psychology. Consequently, the academic and clinical disciplines of psychology use the medical model and are therefore pathology-oriented, which completely ignores the energetic reality of consciousness and the nature of the soul. During this ascension cycle, we must help each other to understand the implication that this has upon humanity, and to redefine the nature and existence of the soul inside psychology. This begins by understanding the history and the intentions behind the field of psychology that exists today. The soul is the essence of who we are, and it is that part of us which focuses upon the most authentic part of our true nature. For true healing to occur, the soul is the part of us that is the most powerful in affecting mental shifts and behavioral changes, and can greatly improve our self-esteem and self-confidence. 1.
You see, everything that they're doing is socially engineered, mind control. They act like they don't know that they're doing it. They act like they're just speaking up. No, this is their form of bullying, right? This is their form of trying to tear down the ones who they feel is lesser so they can continue to sit up on their pedestals. In society, you will look at them and say, that's a Karen, right? Someone who has nothing to do with a situation, has no personal quarrels to a situation, but make theirself a part of it because they feel like it's their God-given right in order to tell other people, right, how they're supposed to go about their human experience, right? So you have people like Snoopy, who sits there and makes it seem like she's the ultimate judger. She gets to sit and judge all of these people, all of these content creators, all of us. She gets to sit and judge us, right? She don't have no personal. It's the black tea sector. Y'all make it make sense. She knows nothing about hip hop. She knows nothing about Jay-Z, right? She knows nothing about anything that's talked about in this sector, right? Yet she's trying to have the most input, and only thing she's doing is just confirming how much she does work with Danny Robinson because she's trying to be an Irish version of Danny Robinson. So you don't watch Danny Robinson so long, you're not in Ireland pointing out the things that's happening in your country. You're paying attention to another country's content creators, and you're trying to tear them down, which I don't think it makes sense. But, for those who continue to go over there, you guys got to make it make sense to y'all why y'all continue to go over there, why y'all continue to, feed into the narrative when y'all can have discernment on your own. Y'all can go check it out for yourself, But I guess it's just like Vampy, right? Vampy has no reason to do the things that she's doing, but she does it. And maybe it's because I'm the man that she always wanted to be, or some form of it. I'm not sure. She would have to make that make sense, right? But you're watching this programming, and my question is, tell me What personal falling out that I have with any of these people? Nothing. There's no personal falling out with them. In fact, I never been on a panel with Snoopy. Never been on a panel with Snoopy. Never been on a panel with Vampy. But these are two people who's out there, you know, constantly making content about me, you know. And then with Snoopy, she tries to group everybody in. So her content is like, oh, I'm talking about V God. Like she makes it seem like she's just talking about everybody and just putting a bad name on everybody. But she ain't doing what's she doing? When it's all said and done, what is she going to provide for y'all? Just another update on somebody else's life. That's why she's never going to like piece things up, say, okay, let bygones be bygones. She don't have a cooking class to take y'all to after that. She came from the Sean Atwood's network, somewhere from over there, and now she's chiming in on everything that's going on over here. And y'all don't see that she's an Irish version of Sean Atwood's, trying to gain her traction and make her page pop off of black tea controversy. Not Irish stuff, not the stuff that's going on in Ireland, not even the stuff that's going on in the UK, but she's trying to make her topic based off of black people's life, right? My life is a topic, a talking point for her, right? The black tea sector, that's a talking point for her. But nobody knows her life because she's not talking about it, right? Nobody knows how many times she walked to the pub a day. Nobody knows what's going on over there in Ireland with the 7,000 black people that's over there. Hell, she's not even talking about the 7,000 black people that's over there. Why is she not advocating for a black person that's in Ireland? Why is she not going out in Ireland and making black friends? But she's on the internet trying to play the voice of all judgment, right? She's the voice of all judgment. Laura Kelly, whatever her name is, right? She gets to sit there and judge everybody else, right? No matter if you're trying to put knowledge out there, trying to get back to what it is that you used to talking about, the positivity, so on and so forth, she still want to try to hold you to the bullshit that started behind some bullshit that was followed up with bullshit. And when you pointed it all out, she has nothing to say about it. She don't want to come up on a panel. She don't really want to have a conversation, but she keeps doing lies. Why do you think that is? Most people, when they have a problem with somebody, they want to address it and get it over with so they can move forward. Not this one. Not these people. They needed to keep going. They watch me in the morning time, and then right after I get off live, they go live right after I get off live. Is that not ironic? Is that not ironic? Only to try to do what? Irritate, aggravate, frustrate, just to try to get a response. But you guys keep on trying to make it seem like that's the normal. That is normal right there. That's why you got to get into the houses of ego, right? The houses of ego explains all of this to you. The house of ego explains all of this to you. You knows the who's of Whoville right here within the house of ego. Listen to this.
The imposter spirit and predator forces attempt to increase the power of the 7 houses of ego in shaping and reinforcing human behavior through mind control, which invite the predator forces to use or possess the mind and body at will. When the body, mind and heart are corrupted by repeated negative ego thoughts, actions, and deeds, the internal structure to house these energies, these qualities of spirits, will reside in the houses of ego. These lower quality spirits manifest tremendous pain and suffering, and are also called satanic or Luciferian forces. In severe cases of repeated destructive spiritual behavior, this can evolve to a thought-form possession around a certain theme, such as with addiction. Metatronic reversal coding such as splitter tech runs itself through the signals of the houses of ego. Hence we must clear ourselves of these predator forces in order to become free from the control of the predator. This is the definition of mental and spiritual bondage to the predator, dark forces of the imposter spirit and the NAA. 7 houses of ego. Addiction/lust. Wrath/rage/vengeance. Greed/avarice. Envy/jealousy. Gluttony/waste. Laziness/discouragement. Pride/ plus or minus, self-importance. Conscious mind or third internal layer. The conscious mind layer of the ego is that which we all perceive as a self or personality and of which we can observe our conscious thoughts. If one pays attention to their conscious thoughts, one becomes aware if they are having negative ego thoughts as defined above by the 7 houses of ego. All houses of ego are formed by making judgments of people and the external circumstances and acting upon those thoughts in a variety of uncontrolled or reactive behaviors. The third layer is directly impacted by the first layer of our unconscious mind and second layer of the instinctual mind to the degree the painful memory has created walls of separation and traumatized subpersonalities. If the main areas of the walls of separation are not dismantled and subpersonalities brought into transparency for healing, these hidden influences control and manipulate the strength and power within the person's houses of ego. Essentially, the more weak and in pain a person is, the more strong their walls of separation, pain body, which create the negative ego judgments which build the houses of ego. In most cases, the houses are also created as a coping mechanism to deal with the harshness experienced in the 3D world.
So this is what you're watching right now. People who wants you to feed these houses of ego. So if you are, conscious of this, then your conscious is aware of this. Your conscious is aware of these things that dwells in the house of ego. So when you perform these acts that are, relatable to the houses of ego, right? You are feeding these houses. So when people are sitting there trying to tear down your character, so on and so forth, tear down your image, right? These are things that they're attacking. They're using the extensual mind, right? They're using the extensual mind to do it. All the things that come with the ego, right? In the extensual mind, they might attack your sexuality. They might attack, your looks, a lot of carnal things, so on and so forth, right? But these are the things that they are going to attack, right? You'll hear them say more stuff like, "Oh, look at your teeth. You're broke." These different variations of things, because in order to defend, you're defending these houses of ego. This is why I try not to defend so much of it, right? Because these are the things that you're defending. It puts you in all of these things. You're feeding these things. You don't know it because we're put in, the projects, we're put out here for these different variations of conscious experiments, right? So this is where, all of these different variations of things come in at. When you are looking at the mind control, when you are looking at the patterns, it's the patterns that you're going to see it in, not the people, but the patterns. Okay, I keep saying this. It's design patterns, the structural patterns, right? They don't want to break these patterns. That's why everything that they do is something that leads to destruction, war, or some form of it, right? Because these are patterns of human behavior.
We must be able to identify destructive patterns, ego fear, from healthy patterns, spiritual love, in order to make an informed choice and have personal discernment. Otherwise, we are not discerning in the quality or level of information we are being exposed to and allow ourselves to be externally influenced by charismatic abusers, predators, manipulators, liars, and psychopaths. It is important to be able to discern and identify abusers, liars, predators, and sociopaths as people traumatized by terrible pain, soul fragmentation, and spiritual disconnection. Why would we trust resources and give value to the words spoken in the skewed theories of a person/group/family member/organization who is a repeated abuser, liar, manipulator, or predator? This is akin to returning to the same church to listen to sermons where the priest is known to molest altar boys. We have to understand they are very sick, in pain, and deeply disturbed.
So you're watching this now, right? And you're seeing it in real time. You're watching it in real time as you pay attention to these different, content creators, so on and so forth. You're seeing it in real time and you're watching the operation of it in real time, right? You might not know what it is that you're paying attention to. You might not even know what it is that you're seeing, right? But these are the things that you're seeing. If you have spiritual discernment, then you know exactly what I'm talking about, but these are the things that you're seeing and these are the operations that they're in, right? But if you look at the pattern, you have to see the pattern in order to break the pattern of it. A lot of people don't see the pattern of it, so they'll never break out of that pattern. And then when they see somebody that's out of that pattern, they'll do everything to pull them back into that pattern of operation because that's normal to them now. That pattern is normal. That's why they always go back to trauma households. They always go back to their parents, or they witnessed this or they saw that, because this is a pattern of behavior, a human behavior, and they're mimicking that pattern. They all say that they're not doing it, but if you pay attention, they're all doing it.
Fear builds demonic houses. The imposters attempt to increase the bondage loops of the spirits of fear in the minds of people who are building demonic houses within their consciousness from their own mind and fear-based thought forms. When the body, mind, and heart are corrupted by repeated fear-based thoughts, the internal structure to house these energies, these qualities of demonic spirits, will reside in the mind and consciousness body. These lower quality spirits manifest tremendous pain and suffering, and are also called satanic or Luciferian forces. In severe cases of repeated destructive spiritual behavior, this can evolve to a thought form possession around a certain theme, such as addiction. The controllers know that in order to maintain a system of consciousness slavery, they must devise a control-based society in which people will obey power structures without the ability to question authority or ensure accountability of actions. When people believe in the fear-based programming set up as belief systems in the 3D world, they easily act
That's what
as
I'm
the
talking about. The
bodyguards of the
altars
Matrix.
inside the
They
body.
are willing to self-enforce
They are
unethical laws
praying
on
to
others,
certain
no matter how
variations of
corrupt or
altars
tyrannical the
inside the body.
society. The most important tool for any controller being that desires to have total power over others in order to steal global resources is to manipulate fear in the minds of people. Whether that narrative of fear is real or imagined is of no consequence, as the mass perception of fear is the only thing that matters. Through the promotion of the mass perception of fear, a controller may conquer nations, conquer territories, and conquer an entire planet. We must see the fear-based programming operating in the global scape and understand how it is used in the macrocosm for producing human slavery, in order to free ourselves of the personal fears that make us suffer, building demonic houses that block our highest spiritual expression.
Now you see, do you see what they're doing? Do you see the manipulation? Right? So what they're doing is they're constantly trying to keep other people in fear of, gaining traction, fear of making it on this website, fear of losing supporters, fear of the supporter. This is what they're doing. They don't want anyone to grow in that spirit, right? So they keep you in fear, right? You don't want to step out and really be yourself. You can't really be transparent because they're attacking all of your personal identity, so on and so forth, right? This is another way of enslaving the human mind. So when you got people like, Snoopy sitting over there, placing other people, trying to put other people in fear, right? But sits there and make it seem like she's the saint, sits there and make it seem like she's the judge, sits there and make it seem like, oh, I'm just the observer, soldi, right? It's bullshit. She's trying to stop other people from growing in the laws of the cosmos. She's trying to stop other people from allowing things in their past to be let go, to live in the moment and for the future. She's trying to stop you and keep you in past endeavors. It's the same thing they did to our ancestors. It's the same thing they did in slavery. It's the same thing you're watching right now. Only thing is, this time they don't care who they enslave in the mind. You could be white, black, or indifference. They don't care, right? Because it's all about human and slavery. We think it's about black and white. We look at it and try to say black and white, right? But that's not, they don't care. Their mindset is satanic. They are based off of these laws, right? They are based off of these laws. It is all that they know. So when it comes, their body will never build this new house of a Christ spirit. They'll never build this altar within inside their self, but they'll stop anyone else from trying to build a Christ-like altar within inside their self. They'll try to prevent anyone else from letting go things of their past to build a Christ-like altar within inside themselves. That's why they just keep on bringing up old shit, old shit, old shit to try to make you live in ego, pride.
Building new houses for Christ's spirit. As it is understood, there are demonic spirits that live in the internal structures of ego, which cause harm to our mind and body. One would be motivated to learn how to create the internal houses for the spirits of Christ. As the universal law of structure states, we can build our house in so that the spirit we design it for can reside. This is what it means if we give consent to create a house for Christ and to purify ourselves for the spirits of Christ. The spirits of Christ requires our consent to which to build the house to dwell inside our mind and body. See law of consent.
See, they don't want to give you this house of Christ. They want to give you the house of ego to build in. They don't want you to shake off all those carnal desires. They don't want you to live beyond the means of finances and say, you know what, there's a better way. We can look past this whole money concept and look to the bigger picture. They don't want to see any of that. Why? Because they already grew in their house of ego. They are already in the demonic version of themselves. So they'll stop anyone else that is going in the opposite direction. They want you too to live in the demonic version of yourself. They want you too to live in a lower half or lower vibration of yourself. They don't really practice the duality to come up out of that. If there's 72 demons of the soul of man, then there's 72 angels of the soul of man. Ask them how many of them looked into the 72 angels of the soul of man. Huh? How many of them looked into the 72 angels of the soul of man? That's the question, right? I bet you they can tell you about all the demons, right? But they can't tell you about the angels. They can't tell you about the 72 angels of the soul of man. They ain't going to never tell you about the 72 angels of the soul of man. Why would they tell you about the 72 angels of the soul of man? So you can know how to fight the 72 demons? So you can know how to fight greed, gluttony, lust, right? They don't want you to know about that. They don't want you to know that if there's a demonic, possession, then there also can be an angelic possession, right? But down here, they only tell you about the demonic possessions, conjuring demonic spirits. They never tell you how you can conjure an angelic being. They never tell you how you can put your body into operation to take on the spirit of Christ, right? But they'll keep on telling you, see, this is why your laws of consent is important. This is why, see, they are manipulating your consent, right? And the reason why I say they're manipulating your consent is because I want you to think about this. Everybody that comes in here that tries to show support, tries to say they're supporting, tries to type something in the comment section, ain't that what they're attacking? I want you to think about this. Right now, someone's hosting a live saying that I'm blaming everything on all my supporters. That way, people won't support me. They're manipulating your consent. They're manipulating your consent. They're taking away your right to consent, right? by tarnishing your presence over here, right? By making you not want to type nothing in the comment section, by making you not want to show that you support this channel, right? They're manipulating your consent. And this is why I say, like, know thyself. Know thyself. That's the most important thing that you can do, is know yourself, right? Because right now people are out here trying to manipulate your consent. You might not even know that they're doing it. You might not even know that they're doing it. I want you to look at this, right? How do you use consent? To permit, approve, or agree, comply, or yield. Example, we asked for her permission and she consented, right? So right now, when you're looking at the internet, you might not know this, but when you support somebody, when you watch somebody, when you engage in their content, when you typing in their comment section, right? This is a form of consent, right? You're saying that you agree with what this other person is saying, right? Think on how consent may be given without expression permission, right? Think of how consent can be given without expressing permission. You might not realize this, but you're casting your lot. If you support one of their wicked pages, you're casting your lot with them. You're saying that you're okay with what they're doing, right? The same thing. That's your consent. The same thing. If you support a page, you're giving consent to that person to say that's what's in the world, right? So when you're talking about consent right now, they're manipulating consent. Yeah, not necessarily, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about energy. We're talking about energy. We're not talking about for personal human entertainment. We're not saying like, oh, I just watch it because I'm entertained. Oh, I just do it just to pass time. It's still an energy that's connected with that. There's still energy that's connected with all of this. You're still building up energy with any of this. Now, you can try to look at it from the surface level, from a human perspective, and say, well, I just watch it because I'm bored, or I just watch it because it's something to do, or I just watch it to pass time. Yes, that's what the human going to say. But you're still building up that energy. That energy is still going somewhere. It's still storing energy somewhere.
Vibrationally matches Luciferian intentions or satanic intentions, at the same or equal vibration or frequency level. This is the consent that one has given to be in authority or exchange with those same forces. As an example, one may go to church and pray to God for help, and then go home and engage in self-destructive habits, addiction, sexual misery programs, yell at their spouse, or whatever else. Then the person wonders why they cannot feel any spiritual support or God connection. One may ask for consent and authority to be with God. However, as this example represents, it is the accumulative choices that we make in our thoughts and behaviors that ultimately energetically align us to the force we are in consent with. This highlights the importance of choosing one's authority and therefore one's intentional consent and authority every day, to help overcome the negative thoughts one may have as you learn to discipline the mind from negative ego and predator mind thoughts. As we discipline our mind daily by discerning spiritually healthy thought forms that are suggested in the GSF behavior and the law of one, we get stronger to build our spiritual house, which is building our structure, as obeying the law of structure. One has the right to build their personal space to comply with one's personal consent, as given through accumulative thoughts and behaviors in the law of consent, which decide which forces are used in the building of the internal and external structure, through the law of structure. What we give our consent to is what we give our authority to.
See? Now, that's why I don't consent to a lot of that stuff. When they want me to come over and they want me to build these pages of messy and they want me to go ahead and it's a consent that comes with that. When you sitting there and you listen to these people tear each other down, so on and so forth, there's a consent that comes with that. There's a law of structure that comes with that, right? These are laws of the universe. You can look them up. There's 12 laws within 12 laws. All 12 laws have 12 laws within inside of them. The law of structure, the law of consent, the law of vibration, right? The law of oneness, right? All of these things have laws within them. When you study the laws within the laws, You will stop consenting to so much of the lower vibration. Yes, I thought I can come over here. Yes, I thought I can save some people that was in this sector as far as the low vibration negative people. Okay, that's with anybody. All of us want to have that savior complex to feel like we can make a change, we can make a difference. We all should be having that feeling within inside to say that we can make a change and we can make a difference. The fact that I came over here and tried to actually put that in a physical form, yeah, did I make some mistakes along the way? Yes. I made a lot of mistakes along the way. Did I allow some people to get close that shouldn't? Yes. But that's with anybody. That's with anybody. That's why it says that you're supposed to turn the other cheek, because you're going to run across a lot of different people. And out of 15 people, you might only reach 2. Out of 200 people, you might only reach 10. But you got to keep on going out there, keep on doing it. I know everything ain't for everybody and everybody not going to make it. That's why this knowledge ain't for everybody. A lot of the stuff that I like to talk about, everybody's not going to get it. Some people are going to take it and try to apply it to the carnal mind because that's the state of being that they're in. They're in a carnal state of being. So when you take the knowledge that I'm giving and you apply it to a carnal being, it's not going to sound the same as applying this knowledge to an intellectual being, right? When you give this knowledge to an intellectual being, they'll take it and try to take the whatever they can out of it as far as the learning part of it. They want the learning part in it.
Law of intent and consent. Whatever kind of force we are in consent with, whether we know this or not, is the quality of energy our body and consciousness is subjected to in universal law. The quality of spiritual force will have corresponding dimensional laws, which govern the actions of that quality of that spirit. Negative forces are in the lower dimensions and create servitude and bondage to time, while positive forces of the spirits of Christ are in the highest dimensions and create sovereignty and freedom for the soul and spirit. What we think with our intent will be in consent with the frequency match of the forces that we generate, and the force we create with is our authority in the structure that we are building. What we build in the law of structure is what we have created with accumulated or combined forces. This creation, whether perceived as intangible or tangible, will have an energetic cause and effect upon our body, mind, consciousness, and all of our life experiences. When one has the knowledge of the law of intent, they naturally develop their consent with whatever energy, force, or structure they are interacting with or co-creating with. That force of energy, whether positive or negative, is used to create a structure, and that will determine the authority with which that structure has been built. As long as that structure has been built with that same intent, consent, and authority, it will remain as the governor of that structure. This lack of knowledge is the most common reason why an individual that has unknowingly co-created with the negative causes, that are the imposter spirit forces, becomes increasingly entangled with these negative forces, creating more negative results from law of cause and effect. Many people cannot discern negative forces and the levels of deception carried out by the imposter spirits. This is a loophole created from the alien machinery and its inorganic AI architecture that has manipulated human beings to co-create with these negative forces, in order to grow and spread their negative effects on the earth plane and in other dimensions, too.
Now, how long have y'all seen that? How long have y'all seen them patterns? Right here on social media, right here in the black tea sector. From Sean Davy Way birthing the knot to the knot birthing AT2 to AT2 birthing whatever it is that he birthing. Have we not seen this? This is that's why it says evil begots evil, because if you put your intentions on evil, your consent goes with it, and thus far you're going to birth more evil. Something wicked's going to still come out of it. This is why it's imperative that we get out of that collective unconscious mind. The collective unconscious mind has become very abusive now. The collective unconscious mind, they're beating on anybody around them unconsciously. Unconsciously. You have to raise your intelligence. You have to raise your intellect. Ain't none of these people picking up books. They ain't reading Zachariah Stitches. They not doing none of that stuff. They not studying nothing. They not picking up books. Pay attention. They not picking up books. They not trying to teach you nothing.
In order to understand the internal structures of ego, which we also refer to as houses of ego, it requires the awareness that there are three main layers. The three layers of mind work together to serve the functions of the ego in all human beings. Each energetic layer has separate functions, yet all three layers are interconnected and directly impact each other. As we learn about the layers in the internal structure of the ego, this clarifies the purpose of identifying what the ego is and how it operates within us. When we understand how ego operates inside our mind, we are better equipped to heal the energetic imbalances. The first layer is the first dimension, first chakra, that is the memory storage for the unconscious mind. The NAA hidden agenda to mind control the human race and enslavement the planetary system through mind control has left four main areas of trauma and damage in the unconscious mind of the collective consciousness of the human race. Until a human being awakens into higher states of observation with self-awareness and self-responsibility, he is a puppet of his subconscious programming, impulses and instinctual reactions, which maintain the most primitive and animalistic behaviors.
Now, what does it say? Maintain primitive and animalistic behaviors. Do you see what's happening now? Do you see what I'm talking about? They want you to stay in this impulse and instinctual reaction. They want you to stay in this react out of your first, like, give me your first reaction out of feelings and emotions. First reaction, feelings and emotions. Hurry up, go. First reaction, feelings and emotions, right? So they try to keep you in the operation of feelings and emotions. Listen to what I'm saying. That's why they keep you in your instinctual reaction. They want this reaction out of you. You know what I mean? Come on now. We watching it. We watching it take place right in front of us. How we don't see it? We're involved in it. Like my life is in time. Like that's why I just look at the patterns of it, because they have somehow entangled my life into some modern day soap opera where they try to, I feel like it's the Truman Show. Like the way that they're trying to paint me out to be, no matter how much I show them that I'm not. Like literally, we showing them the farm, we showing them the camp, we showing them the weekends, we showing them going to the youth center. We're going to the youth center to try to make sure that we can do something for the youth or provide a space for the youth to come out. Like we're showing them all of this, and still they refuse to see it because they want to live. They're choosing to ignore it. They're choosing to ignore it. It's not that they don't see it. They're choosing to ignore it so they can live in the delusional state of being that they're living in. Because if they accept that they see it, even if they mention it one time, if they say, oh, yeah, we see what he's doing out there at the farm, if they mention it one time, their subconscious will remind them how guilty that they are, and none of them want to be in guilt. None of them is going to recognize or acknowledge any of that, because then they have to realize, like, oh shit. And now they got to look at themselves. And one thing these lower vibrational beings do not like doing is taking accountability. They don't want to have to look at their self. Yet we done took accountability on many occasions. Many occasions. But do you see them taking any? Nah, not at all. Not at all.
First internal layer. This is the root layer of our unconscious mind, and it functions like a hard drive for the ego. In this hard drive is the cellular memory storage from all of one's life streams. This means that cellular memories from past lives, present lives, and future lives may all be stored in this memory hard drive. These memories are not given value when they are recorded, whether one may perceive them as good or bad. These many multiple memories are stored on the root hard drive of every human being. Whether one was a fetus, baby, in between lifetimes, or unconscious when the body suffered abuse and experienced trauma. It was recorded in one's memory storage whether one currently remembers that event consciously or not. Because the planet was invaded and our individual memory and identity erased from those tragic events, most all human beings have four main areas of cellular memory record in their unconscious mind at varying degrees. Those four main areas are abuse, trauma, shock, and devastation. Some people will feel these painful memories but not know what caused them or where they came from. Others will suffer from shock and will have shut these memories down completely as a coping mechanism. Others are very successful clearing these memories through emotional clearing practices such as with hypnosis and past life regression. Since this 1D unconscious mind controls our autonomic nervous system and autonomic bodily functions, unhealed memory trauma in these four main areas.
So basically, what that's saying is you'll see this repeated notion with these characters, which is basically abuse, trauma, shock, devastation, right? They act like they're so devastated. They act like this affected them so much and so bad and so on and so forth, right? And every time we send a star seed back down here to try to bring back knowledge and healing and so on and so forth, this is what they got to go through. They got to go through the bullshit of people tearing their character down, trying to tear their image down, trying to tear them down, right? Every time we send a star seed down here to try to bring understanding to this world, right? This is what you guys do every single time. Every single time. Now, let's take a listen so you can get an understanding of this. Earth seeds and star seeds. You need to understand this, right? The stardust within inside of your body, it comes from the stars. The RNA negative blood that I was telling you about, this is important. Walk-ins, light workers, I've been telling you about this. I've been preparing y'all for this, been speaking about this for how long? I did not want to get caught in that energy that which was the Jaguar right sector now changed to the Black T sector or whatever sector they calling this. Didn't want to get stuck in this sector. That's why we've been trying to push out the knowledge and stuff, is to get out of this sector. This is not our sector. So I don't understand why they keep on trying to, talk about us and keep us in that sector. But that's not where we want to be. We don't want to be the light that light y'all sector up. We don't want to be the star seed that y'all, sacrifice for y'all sector. We don't want to be that. We all see that y'all are sacrificing star seeds and light beings. You know what I'm saying? We all see that y'all are sacrificing star seeds and light beings, but we not gonna be the one that y'all sacrifice. We not gonna be that one.
During this end evolution cycle that leads into the current ascension timeline, many different variations of soul spirit consciousness from a vast array of planets, galaxies, and universes have joined the reincarnation cycle on 3D planet Earth. Some are biologically organic future humans while others are not. Yet, all have come in order to experience the shifting consciousness fields on the 3D planet Earth at this end cycle. These particular groups of soul spirit beings that have incarnated in a 3D human body are referred to as starseeds. Even though starseeds hold more genetic memory from these future stations of identity, all is one and valued in its connection to the eternal source creator. Starseeds have specific roles and a humanitarian spiritual mission based on the law of one to help free the planetary soul from spiritual and energetic oppression enforced by the NAA through the false father god religions. This is to elevate and change destructive timelines through genetic rehabilitation and erase negative alien mind control software programs. These software program religions were put in place by the patriarchal dominate negative aliens in order to be worshipped as gods and easily enforce the enslavement of the planetary population. Starseeds entered this planetary consciousness body to experience reincarnation and activate their spiritual mission for a wide variety of reasons and interests. The primary goal was to re-establish the potential freedom from forced reincarnation through the restoration of the cosmic sovereign law of one through the reclamation of the Christos body crystal template. In order to do so, the negative alien agenda of planetary domination, enslavement, hybridization, and abduction would have to be eventually revealed to humanity. However, the extraterrestrial agenda and the history of extraterrestrial genetic influence in both everyday human events and the many historical records have been extinguished in every way possible. Both benevolent and malevolent extraterrestrials have been involved with this planet for millions of years, and they have never left this planet. This was known on planet until the last 5,500 years, when most of this knowledge and its written history were destroyed. See the Galactic Wars. Only the reptilian bloodline manipulated humans were given this knowledge in secret to maintain their position for power and control. They are ultimately puppets for off-planet controllers that sold out the human race. History is rewritten by the victor of war, and hence, the real extraterrestrial agenda is hidden while a false record of human history is put into its place.
See, that's some people will never realize their spiritual journey down here. Some people will never realize what it is that they're down here or supposed to do. Some of the ones who do realize what they're doing are a part of the elite. They are part of the reptilians. So of course, theirs will always be to block the one true light, the one true direction. That's what they are here to do. They are here to send you in a false direction, put you on a false course. That's what they're here to do. So of course, anyone who's trying to correct that timeline or correct that course is an enemy to them. This is why I keep on saying, like, I don't see people. I see entities. I'm watching the human pattern of these entities. That's the only way you're going to be able to recognize them. It might be a lust demon might hold, so many legions of people down here. A greed demon might hold so many legions of people down here, right? The devil, Lucifer, whatever idea of it that you have, might hold so many collective people down here. You're not going to see this if you're watching the person, but if you pay attention to the pattern, then you can see through that, you can see like, okay, that's the pattern of lust. That's the pattern of greed. That's the pattern of gluttony. That's the pattern of, if you're watching the pattern, then you'll see the human behavior of these entities that are inside of beings. Not everybody is in control of their vessel as far as their person or their spirit, right? And when you have star seeds that come back down here to try to put this information out, to try to put this knowledge out, this is the levels of attack that we have to go through. So that's why I sit over here and I laugh at them. That's why I sit over here and I say we're already 20 steps ahead of them. That's why I sit over here and I say we instead of I, right? Because when I speak in the collective, they get all confused because they're all about I. They don't know about the universal oneness. They don't know that you're a greater reflection of me or a lesser reflection of me. They don't know that. So when I say we, they think it's a group. They think that, oh, my accounts are owned by this person. This dude is not that smart. He don't know what he's talking about, so on and so forth. And it doesn't matter what I show them. It doesn't matter what accolades I pull out. None of that matters. Their image of me will always be their image of me. No matter how much I try to show them a different image, their image of me will have to be the image of me, because then if they have to see me for a different image, then they have to look at the image that they are in. Right? So they're not going to recognize my works. They are not going to recognize any of this stuff. They're not going to understand my call of duty. They're not on the spiritual path. They're not connected with their one true spiritual goal, which is to, unify. They don't know what they have to do down here. I found my life purpose. I found my soul's purpose, and they're entwined with each other. My spiritual path and my physical path has become one with each other now. They mad about that. They mad about because I'm walking the same path that I'm talking. I'm trying to put knowledge in the world and unify the world in different forms of it. Love, yeah. I might have to tell one of them about themselves. Yeah, that comes with the territory. That comes with the territory. Why? Because they will play. They'll try to play in your houses of ego. You know what I'm saying? They'll try to play in your house of pride. For real, they'll find out what you proud about. What's going on, Sacred Onion? They'll try to find out things, and they will try to play in these different houses that you dwell in. They think you're dwelling in these places. They don't realize that, I put my pride and my ego aside a long time ago. I was in 8 different group homes, 3 different foster cares. I don't understand them. This is what is so baffling to me, is because they assume that they know who I am, and they don't know nothing. I've been put my ego and pride to the side. You're not looking at somebody who had it a silver spoon. You looking at somebody who had it rough, who decided that wasn't the image that he want. And I went and got some knowledge. I went and learned. I went and practiced. I learned how to get my digestive in order. I learned how to, stop eating this, stop eating that, break my body down, eat 1 meal a day, go to sleep on an empty stomach so I can ascend into the astral planes, flush my body out with fruit. I went through the discipline of the vessel. Some of these people still eating 3 meals a day, eating pork, so on and so forth. They're not cleaning their body out. They're not doing these things to cleanse their body. And they mad at the people who haven't disciplined over the flesh in order to have this spiritual enlightenment, in order to grow within the spirit. They're mad at me that I have discipline over my own flesh. Think about that. Someone else is mad because I decided to learn. Someone else is mad because I decided to study. Someone else is mad because I decided to look past a certain point of humanity and go further. Because I looked at the emerald tablets, because I studied the hieroglyphics, because I went back to Egyptian mythology, Roman mythology, Greek mythology, because I'm studying the stars. What are they really mad about? Ask yourself. What are they really mad about? If I'm broke, you mean to tell me they mad that I'm broke? So all these people are upset with me because I'm broke? Does that make sense to y'all? That they're mad at me because I'm broke? Does that make sense? I ain't never see so many people talk about somebody who ain't got nothing and broke, as they say. So many people doing content about this person that's broke and ain't got nothing. Make it make sense. You got to be coming against me for something. It can't just be, oh, he's broke and he's asking people to help him fund the farm or help him out in his endeavors. Ain't that what y'all doing? Ain't that what everybody on here doing? If you got content, if you monetize, that's now your job, damn near, is to bring content or put shorts out there, put videos out there so people can watch them, so you can get paid for the advertising on it, so on and so forth. It is my job now. It's kind of been my job with TikTok and everything, but still, as a content creator, whatever you want to call it, I might not be an influencer yet, but they'll stop you from trying to become an influencer because they tearing you down before you even become a content creator. Huh? And my thing about it is, the one can say one is broke based off of finances, but to some people I'm rich. To some people I'm rich. I'm rich in the things that I want to be rich in: knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. I'm rich in knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Now, as far as that carnal stuff that y'all hold so dear to y'all heart, Yeah, maybe I might not be rich in the carnal things that you hold so dear to your heart, but knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, I'm rich in that. And the amount of love that I have, I got an abundant amount of love. It's a shame that a lot of people will never see the amount of love that I have because they can't get past the color of my skin. They can't get past my teeth to see the amount of love that I have. And that's the saddest part of all of it. That you will never know how much love I truly have because you can't get past my teeth.
Starseeds entered this planetary consciousness body to experience reincarnation and activate their spiritual mission for a wide variety of reasons and interests. The primary goal was to re-establish the potential freedom from forced reincarnation through the restoration of the cosmic sovereign law of one through the reclamation of the Christos body crystal template. In order to do so, the negative alien agenda of planetary domination, enslavement, hybridization, and abduction would have to be eventually revealed to humanity. However, the extraterrestrial agenda and the history of extraterrestrial genetic influence in both everyday human events and the many historical records have been extinguished in every way possible. Both benevolent and malevolent extraterrestrials have been involved with this planet for millions of years, and they have never left this planet. This was known on planet until the last 5,500 years. When most of this knowledge and its written history were destroyed, see the Galactic Wars. Only the reptilian bloodline manipulated humans were given this knowledge in secret to maintain their position for power and control. They are ultimately puppets for off-planet controllers that sold out the human race. History is rewritten by the victor of war, and hence, the real extraterrestrial agenda is hidden while a false record of human history is put into its place. Many starseeds were aware of a psycho-spiritual warfare between extraterrestrial races and came to this planet as embodied human intelligence portals to feed back to the overall group effort in its reconnaissance mission back to their home planet or universe. However, when most got here, they were subjected to the many alien implants, mind control systems, dark force infiltration and victim-victimizer software like all human beings. For those reasons, many still remain asleep or subverted to the fact of their real spiritual mission and consciousness. However, it has been generally understood that during the end cycle the neutron window is opening between this third-dimensional planet Earth which intersects with the universal transharmonic gateways. The transgate timelines are that which allow these starseeds to reconnect and return to their home frequency after this tour of duty. For starseeds, this lifetime is a recon mission that was required to gather the intel required to comprehend the levels of genetic damage, the source of planetary invasion, the identity of the main intruder races, and attempt to offer sovereignty and freedom to the souls which had been enslaved, abused, and entrapped in repeated reincarnation cycles. One of the primary issues is the horrifying violation of the human soul from negative alien abduction, satanic ritual abuse SRA, soul body siphoning.
Now that I have the PC set up and I turned it on and it's working a little bit, but you can join the panel now if you want to have that conversation. I mean, I'm not ducking no conversations about it. And in regards to it, I always say, like, this is why I still have that Discord. You know, this is why that Discord still exists, is because you can go back and look at the games that was being played in that Discord. Like, it's not hard to go back and look at the levels of manipulation, the games that was being played, right? It's not that hard to go back and look at, you know, what everybody was saying, you know, what they were pushing, right? This is why I kicked everybody out, you know, because this is where like all that negative was at, and it's still trapped here. All of their BS is still trapped here in this space. All of it is still trapped in this space. That's probably why they feel like they can't get out of it, is because they poured all their negative into this Discord and expected us to sit in it. They poured all their negative into this Discord and expected us to sit in it. We wasn't trying to create a Discord like this. Huh? You go back to the petty pocket, maybe a couple of things, beefing, but this was look at the names. Look at the names of the people that was pouring it in. It wasn't me. I was doing social media stuff, pulling up their social media stuff. Look at what they were looking at. They were trying to look up charges, people's charges, trying to get me to bring up people's charges. This wasn't me looking this shit up. This was these personas looking it up. These people, trying to get you to put information out about people. It wasn't me. I'm doing the looking up Facebook, so on and so forth. You see what I was posting. I looked up Facebook. You know what I mean? The stuff that they were trying to post was like, oh, trying to dox this, You see that? What's that? I didn't put that up there. Somebody else put that in there. This is way back, couple years ago. That's why I say they repeat the same thing. This is Ron Yum Yum, right? This is how far back this goes. The Wise Black Owl has threatened to false copyright claim my video on her live stream. So here's the link to download and upload the video at your will. Also a link to watch it on Rumble, right? This is going way back. They poured so much negative into this Discord. And they wanted us to bask in it. You see, even when we tried to move forward, look, this is what I was posting, right? Nicki Minaj, SCR, this is what I was trying to get them. I was trying to get them to focus on something different, right? They didn't want to. You see what Imani was posting? Imani trying to keep me up with all the people that's in the Discord. See, she's sending messages to people in the Discord, right? Not joking to me. Lovely lady. Thanks for the extra efforts and expansion. I went to said channel and said video, and just as in appeared, it was taken down while I was watching it. Thank you, right? This was these people constantly messaging people. Look, long back end messages with people. Nobody asked Imani to do all of that shit, message all of these people, and then come to me and try to make it seem like these people was messaging her, right? I don't want to see the screenshots. I told you already, I don't care about your beef with Nafisa and Golden or whoever on this platform. It's your problem. You deal with it, right? We can keep going. Right? Quick question. If you weren't in their live, how would you know? I told you before, I repeat, not interested in anyone's personal beef on this internet, right? This was what they were posting in here. I gave them this space. Now, of course, we did post different variations of things when it came to trying to show our, whatever. But you can come up now. Look, Imani posting AT2s. Now, we were having fun in the Discord. Until they try to make it seem like, look at me. I'm posting the Rising Phoenix situation. The lady who took out the manager at McDonald's, right? I'm posting topics, hitting like the trends and stuff, right? Look, Jane and them, all of them. Look what I'm posting. I'm posting the stuff about McDonald's.
Gossiping about people.
Right?
It's not funny, man.
This is what I was posting.
He's a bully. I'm telling you.
This is what I'm trying to get them to focus on in the Discord. I'm using the petty pocket to post this stuff, trending stuff that's going on, topics that's actually happening in the world, right? Trying to get them to come around like, hey, listen, there's more stuff going on in the world. Let's focus on this stuff, right?
She's a bully. She brings a lot of negative energy in there. She always
you can't say that I wasn't.
Then she tried to manipulate that to make it seem like we ain't doing something right, but we are working really hard, doing great. It's just the fact that she panicked, and I caught her a few times making a mistake, and she tried to hurry up and play it off. You know, nobody's perfect. It's fucking McDonald's. It happens. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes, like, somebody might get confused. So fuck, it gets busy, yeah. But she needs to stop playing like she don't be making mistakes. I be catching her. So all that animosity and shit that she keep putting in the air and stuff, then trying to tell me I'm always snapping on people. No, that's false. No, I don't snap on people. I don't go in there doing that. I tell her, no, I make peace. That's what I'm doing. I've been creating peace. So all that negative energy that she's bringing in there and trying to manipulate it, no, that's going to stop. All that negative shit she's saying about, you know, her personal life, all of that. No, she's bringing all of that in there and then playing games saying she want to take her belt off and beat somebody. Y'all act like my kids in here. No, we ain't your kids. Respect us. Stop talking to us like that. That shit is crazy. I'm telling you. But to get sent home 2 days in a row, man, and I came in on my off day to make up my time, and she still sends me home early, it's not funny. Somebody will have to do something about that. It's not funny. It's not fair. It isn't funny at all. So, you know, she could keep being a bully if she wants to, but that shit is going to catch up to her. Because it ain't funny at all. It ain't. Early yesterday, I got sent home early today by the same person. I'm telling you, she's a bully.
See, this the stuff I was posting in the Discord in the petty pocket, right? But if you go up, I was even posting about the stuff that was on TikTok, right? Posting about the stuff that was going on TikTok, right? Now it's nobody's fault because the petty pocket was for whatever people wanted to post. But you know, if you look, certain people was playing certain games. You see this? See that? It's all right there in the petty pocket. You know what I mean? Y'all can keep on trying to drag this Discord out, trying to keep bringing stuff up about this Discord. I get it. Then I don't get it because it's like, you know, and go back and listen.
My ex-wife has a good job here, and I'm still.
They try to put all this trauma, fill the Discord up with all this trauma. This Imani, just putting all this trauma, RC117 recordings. This is Imani. Imani was filling this up in there, and y'all tell me this wasn't for YouTube bullshit.
I'm very social at work. I have lots of friends at work, and I have I'm a social person. Like, I'm an extrovert to the max, and then also I'm just a loner to the max. So I just find that balance, you know. And so, like, this kind of stuff is where I have my balance because it's like I can socialize with people, but I can.
And she put it in there so everybody can click on it and listen to it in the petty pocket.
So I was really bummed out.
Filling it up with all this trauma and negative bullshit. Ain't that what the knot said? Go into his Discord and trauma bond.
You know, in my.
And I just kept on ignoring it, kept on not saying nothing.
My, you know, well-being and stuff like that. So hopefully, all right. Thank you so much for your support and your advice. And like I said, I really, really did like you. Like, I like your no nonsense attitude. I like how you talk. Yeah, I just think I was misunderstood a little bit, but it's all good. And I respect Ralph. Like I said, maybe our paths will cross again later at a different time, and I'll still be able to benefit from some of his knowledge and expertise. All right, you all take care. Take care. Bye.
Does it make sense? Just putting all that. If they wanted knowledge, if they wanted expertise, look, I can strike Ralph. He has a video up that shows my photo in Instagram conversation. He has no clue what I can do. See? It wasn't based off of me. It never was based off of me. It was based off of these different characters that was placed in the Discord to create havoc, to create whatever it is that they were trying to create. You know what I mean? Ralph can. It was weird. Trying to say that I convinced this lady he was a god. I convinced the lady that I was a god. Look at the narrative that they spent. And this is She Diddy and No Nuts, right? I convinced this lady I was a god, and she must support him financially to buy some land and a car. Think about this. That she was in his head, that she was his head sister wife to stop giving you money, etc. Ralph did her dirty. Who make this make sense when you still see them running around the internet right now together, playing on people's lives? What receipts do you have to organize? What are you talking about? He threatened to release all her information on the dark web, which is a lie. This is what I'm saying. Like, all these lies is just, this is it's I don't know what to tell y'all. Y'all watching it, but look, we moving forward with knowledge and wisdom, you know. You got it. You got it. You got it. Look, this what this person was in here doing. Sending messages to the supporters. Can you stop? Look, they had to. My supporters had to tell She Paint, can you stop adding me to this? Right? She just kept adding all the people that was in the Discord to try to come to her page, try to come support her. You know what I'm saying? I think they might be doing that for promotional, you know what I mean, just for a little bit of publicity, you know, to build it up. You don't think? You don't think they trying to build up the fight? I think Zenith is gonna punish her. You know what I'm saying? I think Zenith is gonna punish her. Yeah, it's been sold out. This is what they kept on trying to do. Even She Paints had her little secret agenda. You know what I mean? But all of it's right there in the petty pocket. All of it is still sitting right there. All of the different variations of levels of manipulation. It's all right there. It's all right there. But yeah, I knew you didn't want to talk about it, but you just wanted to stop me from talking about what I was talking about originally. That's cool though. Now back to what I was saying. Right here. I just pulling up a lot, no mileage. Popping, you popping. You got it, girl. You got it. You got it, girl. You got it.
Many starseeds were aware of a psycho-spiritual warfare between extraterrestrial races and came to this planet as embodied human intelligence portals to feed back to the overall group effort in its reconnaissance mission back to their home planet or universe. However, when most got here, they were subjected to the many alien implants, mind control systems,
You
dark
good,
force
you good, you
infiltration, and
good,
even
you
victimizing
good.
software like
Talk
all
about it
human
when you're
beings.
ready to talk about it.
For those
You
reasons,
good.
many still remain asleep or subverted to the fact of their real spiritual mission and consciousness. However, it has been generally understood that during the end cycle the neutron window is opening between this third-dimensional planet Earth, which intersects with the universal transharmonic gateways. The transgate timelines are that which allow these starseeds to reconnect and return to their home frequency after this tour of duty. For starseeds, this lifetime is a recon mission that was required to gather the intel required to comprehend the levels of genetic damage, the source of planetary invasion, the identity of the main intruder races, an attempt to offer sovereignty and freedom to the souls which had been enslaved, abused, and entrapped in repeated reincarnation cycles. One of the primary issues is the horrifying violation of the human soul from negative alien abduction, satanic ritual abuse SRA, soul body siphoning, sexual mutilation, cloning replicant bodies, and using living human bodies, sperm and ovum to genetically farm human and ET hybrid bodies. Many starseeds have come to this planet to research, collect intel to source hybridization agendas and observe the alien abduction and contactee phenomena on planet. In most all cases, the direct abduction or contact experience is required in order to collect the information and return it back through the neutron window to the guardian crystal host races. The crystal star family is a guardian race that has intervened with this planet to help heal and free the soul entrapment and bodily imprisonment the NAA have extracted upon the human population of Earth. 1, 2.
More so like collect information. So like everything is frequencies, right? So 3-Eye Atlas, if it did anything, it passed by. And when it passed by, it picked up all of the information that was in our galaxy, right? It picked up all the knowledge and information that is in our galaxy in order to take it back to the galactic center, right? And once it get back to the galactic center, then they will analyze all of that information. They'll put it into the system, and then they'll start pushing a different ray of light out of the sun, if that makes sense, in order to try to correct the operation. So, with the data and the information from all of our gathered human experience, right, they can now say, okay, we now see what the negative forces are doing. They are manipulating the spectrum of light that's coming in, and they're blocking off certain variations of things from entering the human body. So now these are the things that we need to do. So they might up like the photons or the gamma rays, or up the love or whatever that they're pushing through the light in order to get through to humans, in order to bring forth that change in this new sky, in the Aquarius sky. So what you'll see is people changing. You won't see, the world will change when people change. Remember that even the Bible says that there has to be a new heaven before we can see a new earth. So before we can see a new earth, something will have to change up here first in the collective, right? And then you will see a new earth. Now, for the ones who are on the lower vibrational half, right, they're doing everything in their power to stop this elevation, to stop this mind, this raise of frequency, if you would say, right? They know the lead lines on the earth to manipulate. They know what Lee lines to manipulate, whether it be a riot in Chicago or a fire in Florida. You know what I mean? They know what Lee lines to manipulate in order to pump fear into this Lee line at a time or that Lee line. So a lot of us are being played on with our energy. And we might not understand what's going on, but this is the energy that they're playing with, feelings and emotions, lower vibrational energies. You can look up Cleopatra's Needle, or you can look up what the Pentagon actually does. Depends on how you want to study it or how you want to look it up.
In the Earth human lineage, there were seven root races and five additional races seeded within the Earth gene pool. The 7 root races are called the Earth seeds. Each Earth seed root race evolution cycle was to develop one of the first 1 to 5, strands of DNA within the 12-strand DNA original divine human blueprint. The latter additional 5 races are referred to as the cloister races. Their function was to keep the 12-strand DNA potential alive for the entire human race and represent the advancement of human evolution. The cloister races are also called the starseeds. So the Earth seeds were a part of the planetary evolutionary cycle to activate each DNA strand 1 to 5 and then to anchor in each new respective level of dimensional experience for the human species on Earth. And the starseeds were a part of the planetary evolutionary cycle to hold the dormant DNA strands 7 to 12 in order to have the template of the divine human intact through the cycles of evolution. Even though these DNA strands are dormant, it keeps the potential of the divine human's true spiritual inheritance as a 12-strand DNA. Avatar possible. Each strand of DNA, when activated, correlates to the dimensional field of awareness available to the soul when incarnated in the human physical body. Throughout the course of human history, there has been additional genetic material contributed from various star families, creating large varieties of starseeds on Earth. Further hybridization and genetic enhancements resulted in a perfect prototype intended as the seed race for humanity. The perfected genetic code created through this hybridization is referred to as the Indigo Grail lineage. This Indigo Grail lineage holds the DNA designed to transmute entirely out of biological form and or hold simultaneously a 12-dimensional awareness within a biological form. These Indigo Grail lines are the primary Grail lines or the Christ Grail lines among the human races. Absolutely all human biologies have the potential to receive genetic acceleration, evolutionary advancement that will allow the 12-strand DNA template to regenerate. This is one of the major purposes of the Indigo Grail lines, to regenerate and activate dormant or damaged DNA templates in the human races. 5.
See? Now, if you don't know what that is saying, this is why they are blocking certain variations of copper-colored beings down here from regenerating this intellectual database, if you would say, right? So they don't want us to reconnect with this intellectual database because not everybody can rise in the ascension process in order to connect to this galactic, agenda, to align with this. It's not genetically, not biologically, not everyone can hold the conscious of this information, if that makes sense. So not everyone mind can hold this conscious, right? This is where your conscious expansion is. You have to expand your conscious, right? They're not going to tell you that you're supposed to expand your conscious. They're not going to tell you the more you expand your conscious, the further you can reach in the universe or in the verses. They're not going to tell you that. They want to keep you restricted to the astral plane, the 4th dimension. That's all they want you to think exists, is that 4th dimension. They want to keep you trapped there. But if you go beyond that, right, then your tree of life will start to grow again. The dragons that Sophie talks about will come back again. These different variations of things, you will have a grander understanding for all of that.
Starseeds are programmed with a spiritual mission and higher purpose to aid in the activation of their brothers and sisters in collective advancement through moral, ethical, and mental and spiritual guidance during the expanding consciousness evolution occurring at the ascension cycle. When a starseed is called upon to gather in unison of purpose, that is when others seem to witness miracles or magic in motion, because of their combined galactic heritage. Most stars seed that are truly activated from all levels seem to hold their optimism about the missions that they have chosen. Another trait of star seed is to totally rejuvenate their bodies through meditation or other modes of healing. Others not yet activated into their knowing can and do turn sometimes to darker agendas of behavior and can be harassed by imposter spirits. True power of star seed comes from knowing their total journey and specific mission with the earth and humanity and clearing negative ego and pain body. Trauma they may have inherited through earth. Miasma. There seems to be a constant among star seed, which is that a higher guidance system which oversees their stay on earth and assist when truly needed and of which is connected to a larger group's spiritual purpose.
Now, this is why what is always was and always will be. I try to tell people this all the time, right? Try to explain to them this all the time, right? Now, some people might be star seeds, some people might be indigo, some people might be walk-ins. These are different variations, you know. For the walk-ins, they might be adopted into this, you know, a light worker, so on and so forth, right? But this is why they are targeting star seeds right now. I don't know if I made the list. I guess I made the list. I guess I peaked their radars, whatever the case may be. So that's why you see all these different personas, you know, doing these different variations of attack, you know, carnal attack. Like, I don't really care about this carnal vessel. You know, that's not, you know, the flesh is weak. Everything will tell you that the flesh is weak. When they can put you in this, you know, body, and they got you worried about age, they got you worried about getting old, so on and so forth. Some of us know that that's a failed process. Some of us know that that's false. Why you think you got, you know, these 50-something-year-old women looking like they 30-something? Why you think you got these, you know, women that's like 60-something looking like they 30, 31? You know what I mean? But you got these 20-year-olds looking like they 75. You know, you got that, you know. And then if we was to get into the details of the templates, that's when you start to realize that, you know, it's more than meets the eye. They try as hard as they might to come against me, but, you know, a lot of studies will show you this. If you get into the Old Testament, this is the template for the priesthood, right? And if you go read the Bible, the Old Testament, it'll tell you the crystals and stuff that was placed on the plate. It'll show you this. These are also the 12 tribes, because each tribe was a crystal, and so on and so forth, because it's the chakras, and it is also the 12 tribes, and it is also the constellations, and so on and so forth, right? See, they won't tell you this stuff because they don't know. They really don't know who's supposed to be seating, whose seat is, you know, David's, so on and so forth, because they carnalized it. You know, they don't realize that that seat is in the mind. So they carnalize what is this seat, and now they are trying to make a physical idea, you know, story of this, when really the seat of David has always been in the same place that it's always been in, with inside the vessels of mankind. So when you realize that there's a collective, and you realize that that collective is actually prominent in this new age, which is the age of Aquarius, which is the operation of Uranus, and why, you know, we have certain favor or the ability to make things come together without finances, right? Just our presence or our intentions on certain subjects or objects will make it manifest faster, right? So when you keep on saying like, oh, he's broke, he's broke, he's broke, sometimes you don't need money in this world in order to see things through, because collectively we all come to the table to provide what it is that we provide, and then you'll see great things come out of that when you put your intentions on it. Real, pure, true intent, right? Real, pure, true intent. Not none of this bogus bull crap that they pushing out there. This negative, oh, feelings and emotions. You notice your magic is not working anymore. Where you have manipulated things through feelings and emotions, they're not operational in the world anymore. That's why it said that the lower two will go, which is the sacral energy that y'all manipulate and the fear energy that y'all manipulate. Those two energies don't exist anymore, but y'all still pumping it out there. You can't manipulate off of fear and you can't manipulate off of sacral energy anymore. So y'all are still manipulating off of fear and still trying to manipulate sacred energy, and you're wondering why it's not working. And this is to the elites. This is to the elites because the normal people, the average people, don't even know what I'm talking about. The average people don't even know what I'm talking about when I say manipulating sacral energy. This goes back to rites and rituals. They don't know what I'm talking about when I say manipulating negative energy, the sacral energy, sacral chakra, and your root chakra and your sacral chakra. They don't know what I'm. The elites know what I'm talking about, right? Because they've been manipulating sexual energy for how long? That's why you have the Diddy parties, right? But they can't manipulate that anymore. And we're starting to see that in the physical world that energy is not being manipulated anymore. That's why it's being revealed to us. That's why these things are being revealed to us because they're still trying to manipulate these energies. That's why I say our job was just to come down here and gather the information of what was going on. So that way, when it's transferred back to the universe is going to send a different signal back down here, and that signal is going to come in through the light because it's going to be a sound. Once that sound comes in through the light, it's going to change you. You might not what's going on? Oh, I don't know. Yeah. That name right there. What's up with you? Um yeah, so this stuff is happening right now. And that's why they're trying to put so many more women or mothers, birthing people, I don't know what they're calling y'all now. That's why they're trying to put y'all in so much misery and so much distress and so on and so forth, is because mothers pass on the RN negative blood, the RNA that's in your blood, right? So mothers pass this on, the RN DNA that's in there, that's connected to spirituality, right? So they put this false program, Madonna program, misery, torture, whatever you want to call it. This stuff is embedded in timeline. I'm sitting here thinking that y'all hear it. Y'all can't even hear it.
It is known that Rh negative blood is harder to clone, because the cloned body loses cellular integrity and breaks down quickly. Indigos. Indigos, extraterrestrial souls, beyond 3D Earth plane, born to human bodies having more than 2 strands of DNA potentially active with a 6th DNA imprint. They have unique abilities because of their unique arrangement patterns of stellar DNA. They are the result of advanced extraterrestrial blood experiments that have gone through many genetic changes in order to foster their interdimensional talents. The founder Blu-ray Orifim are the parents to the indigo children on the Earth. This is a large group of souls that chose to come to Earth via spacecraft and open portal systems, some from the Pleiades, and hosted through Sirius Gateway and beamed down as human energetic templates as embryos that would match their missions through specific arrangement of genetic codes. Most indigos now on the planet with Ascension missions were born after the harmonic convergence of 1987. They require innovative parenting and should not be medicated for ADHD as children. Indigos also have the ability to pick up signals and communication from ET beacons, such as the one found by Russian cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin and American Alan Shepard during 1961, referred to as postcards from the rim. These ET beacons emit both EMF, light and tone signals, along with a mathematical language, which can translate like a 3D holographic film of the galaxy. Many monoliths are out in space, devised by groups of ET races, and some of the awakened indigos resonate to their intergalactic messages and translate that new language into the Earth consciousness fields.
So this is what's taking place right now. Like, you see people trying to resonate with what's going on with the conscious field, come back into a meditative state, so on and so forth. You can see this happening right now. People are trying to get crystals, learn chakras, mudras, mondoons, so on and so forth, right? And this is why I say, like, pay attention, because this is what's happening right now. The indigos are trying to put knowledge and stuff, but they are still being attacked. This is why, like, I'm glad that my parents didn't take me to the hospital or doctors to see that I was, ADHD or whatever. This is why it says, like, you wasn't supposed to medicate. They came up with this name ADHD. It was really for the indigo children, the people who operated in a higher, part of the brain, a more functioning part of the brain or whatever. So they tried to stop us when we was kids. They tried to stop us. My parents never put me on medicine, or at least I never got put on none of the medicine. Even in the foster home, the group never got put on any medicine. But this is what was taking place. These were the games. These was the tricks that was taking place. Now, all of this knowledge and information that they suppressed and stuff like that is getting, it's back out there now. So it says right here, during the ascension process, they are going to target star seeds. Right? You guys keep on trying to figure out why they trying to do this and say, real bad person, I must be this, I must be that. No, they're trying to paint me out to be all of that, because they know that I am trying to put knowledge back that they do not want back down here. They don't want you to know about spiritual housekeeping. They don't want you to clean up these demonic. So if I'm down here teaching people how to clean up the demonic entities with inside of them, don't you think the demonic entities will be furious that somebody's down here trying to teach you how to control the entities that are inside of you that are running wild? That, you know what I'm saying? Somebody's down here trying to teach you. Don't you think these demonic entities will be upset and they'll start, attacking me for wanting to put this knowledge back? Giving you power over the flesh, power over your lower selves. Yes, they're gonna fight tooth and nail for me not to put this information back out there.
Starseed targeting. During the ascension cycle, starseeds and indigos have been especially targeted with superimposed karmic loads and implants, for the purpose of slowing us down and requiring incredible spiritual strength in order to be in positive alignment with the law of cause and effect. Our group experiences the boomerang effect of the planetary miasma, as this collective race karmic backlash is directed from dark entities, to keep us weighted down and trapped in this lower density. The tendency to experience more interference on our path to derail our mission forces us to learn more quickly the necessity to maintain clear and pristine energies through spiritual housekeeping. However, the capacity of dark forces to circumvent the law of cause and effect to their advantage is radically changing now, which is highly supportive for our group. In the new timeline shift, the people feeding the lower mental body constructs are receiving rapid repercussion from the law, while those awakening people that are working to open their heart and be loving are reaping the positive energetic rewards much more quickly. 8.
Do y'all get that? Did y'all get that? They're still attacking us like they always been doing, but now the difference is in this new sky, it's all just coming back to them. It's all coming back to them. Collective race karmic. They try to put this all on the indigos and try to build you up for all of these past, trans karma transgressions or whatever, these past, whatever. But it's all backfiring on them. All of it is backfiring. It don't matter if she is or not. It ain't got nothing to do with me. That's why I keep on telling y'all, like, how someone else operates their vessel has nothing to do with me. I do not let the next person cosmic karma affect me. Whatever Shar, whoever has going on, they would have to take that up. That I'm not going to hold on to that because that's where regret and revenge and all of that shit dwines, right? So I'm not going to hold on to none of that because that's what they would want. They would want me to feel betrayed. They would want me to feel a certain type of way because that's what builds up in the body. It's like, damn, that person betrayed me. Damn, that person was this. And then what? Now I got to go back and struggle with my heart chakra. Now I got to go back and deal with my heart chakra and figure out what's, if I'm holding on to regret or anger or this or that. Like, I'm not doing that. I never did that. So, you know, when y'all sit there and try to, have somebody else take on those different variations of energy, that's not me. I let go. However somebody operate is how they operate. If they're the trickster, let them be the trickster. If they got some hidden agenda, let them continue their agenda. But I'm not going to try to do this or do that. I just don't want certain people around me that's trying to play like that. When you got once you expose yourself like Golden, like those, come on. That was inevitable to see. I don't even see how people didn't see it early on that Golden was with the, games and bullshit for YouTube. All that fake support was to get attention on YouTube. All that popping up on the panel when I'm up there, that was to get attention on YouTube to put herself around me. Texting me while she's on Magic panel telling me to come up on her. That was for attention for YouTube. So I just was trying to get everybody else to come to the realization of some stuff, and, detach myself from some people as well. Because I can't keep on playing them games. A person like that will lead you to fail every time because they're going to keep on putting you in different variations of battles. So you got to keep on doing what? Every time I go out, I got to prove my love. Nah, I'm not doing that. I would never put myself around somebody like that make me want to jump through loops just to prove this or prove that. You know what I'm saying? She got the attention that she wanted. She got Danny Robinson's attention. They should be doing a panel together soon. They should be doing a panel together. If I'm not mistaken, if I'm looking at this timeline properly, they should be doing a panel together. Danny Robinson should be pulling Golden up on a panel. Or if she don't go there, she might loop around and go to Snoopy. You're absolutely wrong about that. Remember, one of the major falling out in the Discord was because I was mad that they kept posting other content creator stuff, and I said that it's going to look like we're talking about them over here. Remember when they were posting Danny Robinson stuff and they were posting other content creator stuff? And I was like, hey, can we not post the other content creator stuff over here? Because people are going to go back and say that we were talking about them and so on and so forth. That was one of the falling outs that we had in the Discord, that I actually had in the Discord, was me telling them not to post other people's stuff And that's when I try to create the room for Lady Letitia and them to go into Lady Letitia's room to watch the stuff that they wanted to watch. Or I created the room for Danny Robinson for the Danny Robinson people to go in there and watch that stuff so it wouldn't be on the main page. I specifically remember that. But like I said, Mary Dickinson, whatever your name is, why would I want Murph's address? That doesn't even make sense. Why would I need Murph's address? Murph's in the UK. Why would I want Murph's address? That doesn't make sense. How you get an address to somebody who's homeless? Huh? He was staying at the Windsor homeless shelter. Why would I need an address for somebody that's homeless? You're not making any sense. Why would I ask for Murph's address? That doesn't make sense. He's all the way in the UK. Where I'm going to get on a plane? You see how y'all just make up anything? You're a troll. You're a troll. Now mind your manners for you get blocked. Why would I want pictures of his house? That doesn't even make no sense. What am I, a painter? Huh? Now, since that person wants to come up, let's look at this right here. Now, common cause of weakened auras. These are what they do to try to weaken your aura right here. Right now, I want y'all to listen to this. These are the ways that they use psychological attacks on you, right? And you can see this now more on the internet than anything. You can see this now. They're trying to use psycho-emotional attacks, right? So they're trying to play with your emotions and stuff like that in order to do so. No, that's not what she's referring to. She can't be referring to that because I never asked any. Just because I said people post in the petty pocket, that she specifically said I wanted pictures of his house or address. She's not referring to that. But if you keep on pushing it, you're probably gonna get blocked up out of here too. Because as you can see, I'm moving forward and I'm talking about something way more important than that. But y'all keep on coming and wanting to talk about that. So if you continue to talk about that, you too will be blocked. But you can choose what you want to do because you have that right. You can choose what you want to do because you have that right. If you're not talking about nothing pertaining to the topic that we're talking about, then please leave. You don't want to learn nothing. Y'all want to keep on talking about the Discord. That's weird as shit. But listen, this is what they do though. Listen real quick. This is how they play. Watch. Listen to this and tell me this don't sound like they operation right now.
What is psychic attack?
Even as we speak, this is their operation right now. Listen.
What is psychic attack? Even if you don't feel specifically energetically attacked on some level, it is valuable to cultivate awareness and practice doing the exercises, as issues may manifest in other ways in your life, such as illness. Some of the reasons for an attack on your personal field/space/aura may include the following: environmental, collective consciousness or governmental exposure and lies of disinformation. Thought forms or entities already in, or attracted to your field. Attachment cords between yourself and another. Karmic return to you or your ancestry from other timelines. Unprovoked attack by another in the form of karmic manipulation, spells, curses. Forces resistant to your light work, healing work or conscious support of ascension. Life form or negative alien attempts to control through fear or implant for manipulation. Black magic, imposter spirit or other dark force manipulation methods. Negative form and shadow bodies attached through other timelines or entities. Once you are aware of how the problem may have been caused, you can take steps to rectify the underlying cause and protect yourself from similar problems in the future. You have all the inner power and resources you need within you to resolve and rectify any of these issues effectively. Informed awareness to deal with these issues when they manifest in your life without dwelling on the negative aspects of them is the goal to balance and achieve positive results. The next of the series will go through our list of above-mentioned items. Every lightworker needs to be informed and aware of these forces working behind the scenes in our world, period. 2.
Period. Period. You need to know about these. You need to know about these. They trying to attack us even as we speak.
Common causes of weak aura. There are many things that weaken our general health and well-being, through the weakening and fracturing of the human energy field or aura. When we develop self-awareness and learn basic spiritual housekeeping through psychic self-defense, one can be proactive in generating a strong aura, or light body, which increases energetic balance and health in every layer of dimensional bodies. Negative emotions, AD behaviors, destructive thought forms of negative ego. Pharmaceuticals, drugs, alcohol, addiction, and consuming recreational drug substances.
Sorry. What? I don't think we worried about that. That's not for us to worry about. But yeah, so these are different variations of things that you have to look out for, that you have to watch out for. Of course, they would like to think that they are smart and they are the ones that are in control of this and they are the ones that are doing this and doing that. But like I said, we're not in charge of their operation. This is why we don't try to combat too much of their BS and their lies, because they have to be in control of that. They feel as though they have to be the ones. I'm telling the truth. I'm telling the truth. We don't care if you believe us or don't believe us. That's the beauty of this. We don't care if you believe us or don't believe us. So to clear out lower frequency, misplaced entities, misqualified, or negative energies that accumulate in a room, space, and group or field exposed to higher frequency, right? They're scared of that, higher frequency exposure, right? But this is that shadow vortex that they want. They're scared of that, that gate, exposing them to the light. They're scared of that. And this is some ways you can, set up shadow vortexes. Because they be ducking that truth. They duck that truth all the time. They duck that truth.
Vortex. See the 12D portal spinning outward in concentric circles, opening and expanding around you. I open this session in service to Law of One and invite the starseed families of oneness to connect and anchor in. As I am God sovereign and free, I so decree. Please generate a field of divine grace around and within this room, hotel, and land. Please anchor frequencies of unconditional love and forgiveness in this space. Please generate blessings to all who enter or dwell here, human and non-human, in the light and service of the one source God.
But like I said, that's their story. They got to tell it. Let them do what they do. People going to operate like they going to operate. It ain't got nothing to do with you or me. They going to continue to operate how they want to operate. Can't do nothing about it. All right? Can't do nothing about it. All right? So we're going to leave y'all with this.
The biggest lie told in history was when she said, that's what Sean Carter
done to me.
Hey.
When she came down on the table, she boom, sat down out like boom, 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 boom. Everybody knew it was playing games. The truth was me and the AI, yeah. She screamed out loud for the world to see. That's what Sean Carter done to me. She lied to me. She lied to you. But when the stop's here and we got the proof, she tried to twist the story, rewrite, sing on the live screen. Down that MC said you could take accountability.
No glitch, no code, no digital ghost, just Jackie talking wild, doing the most. Jaguar stepped out talking like she held the world in her hands. Dropped the story in the fire, hoping everybody take a stand. But echoes don't stay quiet when the truth starts pushing through. And the moment pressure found her, she went looking for for a different truth. Said the wise got caught somehow. When the heat came down, she cried, that's what Sean down to me. Till the truth pulled up, and she changed her key. She had everyone lost.
And that live stream scream.
When she said it wasn't Jay-Z,
It was Trevor Green.
but the real question is,
Who the hell is Trevor Green?
she flipped the script when the stakes got steep, and the biggest lie Jackie would ever speak is when she said,
That's what Sean Carter.
down to me. We saw what we seen. You got caught in your lie. That wasn't AI, and it damn sure wasn't Trevor Green. The biggest lie she would ever speak is when she said,
That's
that's what Sean Carter done
to me. Y'all have a great day. Y'all have a great day. We're going to go live again later on. Y'all have a